The Chiefs recently had a chance to improve their offense, and they took action by signing a veteran player to strengthen their offensive line. I'll dive into that and also touch on some key players who are out for the upcoming game, with Kansas City sticking to a cautious approach on their return timelines. But first, let's revisit some shocking news I shared last week. It turns out both Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce had their homes burglarized within 24 hours of each other. This happened around the time Kansas City played the Saints on Monday Night Football. Mahomes' home was reportedly broken into on October 6th, with the police being notified around midnight. Then, the very next day, as the Chiefs played the Saints, Kelce's home was targeted at 7:33 p.m., just as the game was kicking off. Allegedly, $20,000 in cash was stolen, and the back door was damaged. What makes this even crazier is that these weren't random break-ins. The FBI believes these burglaries could be part of a string of high-profile robberies linked to a South American crime syndicate. While this might sound like something out of a movie, NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reported that it's real. Over the past few weeks, this transnational crime ring has been targeting NBA and NFL players across the country. It's not just Mahomes and Kelce who've been affected. Cowboys defensive tackle Linval Joseph and NBA players like Mike Conley and Bobby Portis have also been victims. To add to the concern, the NFL issued a security alert to all teams about these recent burglaries. Whoever is behind this seems like professionals, conducting careful surveillance and only striking when the players are away, thanks to their predictable game schedules. If these criminals are caught, I'll be sure to update you. Now let's shift gears to the Panthers' season so far. The 9-1 Chiefs are heading to Carolina to face the 3-7 Panthers. It's been a tough season for Carolina. They were blown out by the Saints and Chargers to start, but then picked up a 36-22 win against the Raiders. That win came after their 2023 first-round pick, Bryce Young, was benched in favor of the veteran Andy Dalton. Dalton helped them secure that victory, though the Panthers lost 4 of their next 5 games. After that, Young returned as the starter and has led the team to 2 wins in their last 3 games. They lost 28-14 to the Broncos, but then managed to beat the Saints 23-22 and recently won 20-17 against the Giants in overtime in Germany. That Giants game should have been theirs, but the Giants made a costly mistake. Interestingly, the Giants have now released their former first-round pick, quarterback Daniel Jones. What a wild turn of events. The Panthers' back-to-back wins are their first since the 2021 season, and they'll be well-rested after their bye week. Bryce Young will be back under center this Sunday. While Carolina's recent victories were close and against struggling teams like the Saints and Giants, the Chiefs can't afford to take them lightly. The Panthers are going to do everything they can to beat the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and a win would give their entire team and fans a major morale boost. Plus, the Chiefs are coming off a tough loss in Buffalo and now find themselves on the road once again in Carolina. Why the Chiefs aren't dominating? Let's talk about why the Kansas City Chiefs aren't blowing teams away like we might expect. I'll dive into some details about their matchup and give a score prediction soon. Plus, there's news about a left tackle the Chiefs just signed today. But first, I want to share something fun about Thanksgiving. It leads right into Black Friday. That's when you can find amazing deals you usually wouldn't come across. Speaking of great deals, let me introduce you to Raycon's Everyday Earbuds. The audio quality is impressive and rivals some of the big names in premium sound, but they start at just half the price. And guess what? They're having a Black Friday sale with up to 30% off site-wide. Their latest model features active noise cancellation, which I love for those long hours at my desk while my editor, Alex, works behind me. These earbuds also have an incredible 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity, so I can easily switch between my MacBook and iPhone. They're perfect for my walks when I'm chatting about edits with my editor, Troy. Plus, they come in a variety of vibrant colors to match any skin tone. I usually stick to neutral colors, but I've been enjoying this colorful protective case that still supports wireless charging. No need to take it off. So what are you waiting for? Get ready for Black Friday savings by visiting buyraycon.com/Chiefs to snag up to 30% off everything on their website. Now let's get back to the Chiefs. One major reason they're winning most of their games by just one score is not just because Andy Reid might be holding back some plays. Sure, that could be part of it, but I believe it has more to do with turnover differential. Turnover differential is calculated by taking the number of takeaways, like interceptions and fumbles recovered, and subtracting the number of giveaways, interceptions, and fumbles lost. Right now, the Chiefs are giving away the ball quite a bit. Patrick Mahomes is tied for first in the NFL with 11 interceptions. On the defensive side, they aren't getting many takeaways either. Despite this, the Chiefs are still managing to win almost every game and are one of only two teams with a negative turnover differential while having a winning record. Believe it or not, both the Chiefs and the Panthers have a -5 turnover differential. However, while the Panthers have only won 30% of their games, the Chiefs have an impressive 90% win rate. Looking at the top teams in takeaways, like the Steelers, Bills, Vikings, and Texans, they all have 20 or more takeaways, while the Chiefs only have 9. On offense, teams like the Commanders, Chargers, and Ravens have fewer than 10 giveaways, which is how you start blowing teams out, by not turning the ball over and giving your defense a chance to get the ball back. Now let's look at a team that is blowing out their opponents, the Lions. They have only 10 giveaways this season, with 5 happening in one game against the Texans, and they still won. They also have 19 takeaways on defense. So when people wonder why the Lions can dominate while the Chiefs can't, this is a big part of it. Another factor is the lack of explosive plays from the Chiefs. They just don't have many of those. If the Chiefs want to blow out a team like the Panthers this Sunday, Mahomes needs to avoid throwing an interception, and the defense needs to create at least one fumble recovery and one interception. So come on, Chiefs, let's see no turnovers and at least one big defensive play. And speaking of the Panthers, their rookie quarterback, Bryce Young, has thrown 6 interceptions in just 7 games. Bryce Young, the Panthers' rookie quarterback, has faced some tough times this season, throwing 6 interceptions in just 7 games. 3 of those picks came in his last 3 outings. On the bright side, the Panthers' offensive line has been solid, allowing only 18 sacks this year, which is among the best in the league. In contrast, the Chiefs' defense has only managed 19 sacks, placing them near the bottom. That's why I'm eagerly anticipating the return of Charles Leno, although it might take a week or two before he's back for the upcoming AFC West matchups. Even without Leno, I hope the Chiefs' defensive line can pressure Bryce Young a few times. George Karlaftis has 35 pressures this season, while Chris Jones leads with 46. Yet, surprisingly, George has only 4 sacks, and Chris has just 3. If the Chiefs can get ahead early in this game, the Panthers will likely have to rely more on their passing game. They might get their veteran wide receiver, Adam Thielen, back for this matchup. He's been on injured reserve since September due to a hamstring injury but has been practicing in a limited capacity. We'll check the final injury report later. If Thielen doesn't play, Bryce Young will have to depend on some young talent, including rookies Xavier Legette, Jalen Coker, and tight end Gavin Sanders. I expect Bryce to target anyone not covered by Trent McDuffie, especially after seeing how the Bills exploited weaknesses last week. Thankfully, the Panthers' offense is not nearly as explosive as the Bills. In fact, they have the 3rd worst scoring offense in the league, averaging only 16.7 points per game. They rank 29th in 3rd down conversions and 31st in 4th down attempts. Additionally, they're 24th in rushing yards per game and 31st in passing yards. However, the Panthers do have a bright spot in their run game. Chuba Hubbard has been impressive, rushing for over 800 yards and averaging more than 5 yards per carry. Unfortunately, Miles Sanders, another running back, is likely out due to an ankle injury from the Germany game. But the Panthers will have rookie second-round pick Jonathan Brooks making his debut, which could help. One of the reasons the run game has been successful is the offensive line, which helps the running backs average 4.6 yards per carry, ranking 10th in the league. Luckily for the Chiefs, their run defense is among the best, sitting at 3rd in the NFL. So I'm not too worried about that matchup. Overall, I predict a strong bounce-back game for the Chiefs' defense. This isn't the Buffalo Bills offense we're facing. This is a struggling Panthers team that needs to be taken seriously. I believe the Chiefs' defense will find success against Carolina's offense. On the flip side, the Panthers' defense is having a rough time, allowing the most points per game in the league at 31. They also rank worst in third down defense, 27th in the red zone, and allow the most rushing yards per game, while being 24th in passing yards allowed. Although they have players like Jadeveon Clowney and Ashawn Robinson, Carolina has only managed 12 sacks this season, the second fewest in the league. One glaring weakness for the Panthers is their struggle against tight ends, giving up an average of 60 yards per game. Hello, Travis Kelce. This mismatch on both sides of the ball leads me to believe the Chiefs will win this game convincingly, perhaps 31-3. Most analysts agree with this prediction. To secure the win, the Chiefs need to play a clean game and get their tight ends involved. If Kelce is double covered, they can rely on Noah Gray, and with DeAndre Hopkins getting back into form, along with Juju Smith-Schuster as a reliable target for Mahomes, there are plenty of options. They should also take a few deep shots to keep the secondary honest and run the ball effectively. The Panthers are giving up the most rushing yards per game, so it's time to feed Kareem Hunt, and maybe even Carson Steele if the Chiefs take a big lead. If the Chiefs get ahead early, we might see Hunt's workload decrease in favor of Steele. I don't expect Isaiah Pacheco to play this week, which is fine. It gives him another week to rest before the Chiefs face back-to-back AFC West opponents. One last thing to note is that the Chiefs' offensive line has struggled with pass protection at times, allowing Mahomes to be sacked 10 times in the last 3 games. While I'm not too worried about the Panthers' pass rush, many fans are concerned about how the offensive line will hold up in this matchup. The Kansas City Chiefs have faced challenges this season, especially against teams with elite pass rushers. This has led to a lot of pressures on their offensive line. It's easy to forget that Donovan Smith, the left tackle, also struggled with pressures last year and missed a few games due to injury. When you compare his stats to Wanya Morris's this year, they're surprisingly similar. On the right side, Jawan Taylor has been doing well when he isn't getting flagged. He's actually been an above-average right tackle, but my biggest concern is the depth at the tackle position. If Morris were to get injured, Kingsley would be a tough option since he has struggled on the field and was inactive last week. Right now, undrafted rookie Ethan Driscoll is next in line, but we don't know how he'll perform in an actual NFL game. Depth is crucial in the trenches, as we saw in Super Bowl 55 against the Buccaneers. That's why I think the Chiefs should consider signing a veteran like DJ Humphries. He's a former left tackle for the Cardinals and has just been cleared to return after recovering from an ACL tear. A first-round pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, Humphries has started nearly 100 games and has a wealth of experience. If the Chiefs believe his knee isn't a concern, they should definitely try to sign him. Last year, Humphries allowed just 28 pressures and 4 sacks, which is nearly half of what Donovan Smith allowed, even with Smith missing 4 games. I know the Cardinals have a different style of offense, but Humphries is a former Pro Bowler, and getting him on the team would be ideal. If he joins the Chiefs, he could be fully up to speed with the offense by the playoffs. Interestingly, Justin Pugh, a longtime tackle in the NFL and former teammate of Humphries, tweeted today that he predicts Humphries will go to the Chiefs. Just as I was about to wrap up this video, it was reported that the Chiefs are indeed signing DJ Humphries. Jordan Schultz broke the news first, and Ian Rappaport confirmed it. Humphries is a proven and versatile starter who can provide valuable depth for the Chiefs as they head into the final stretch of the season. This is a fantastic signing. Even if DJ Humphries doesn't start right away, he can step in and protect Patrick Mahomes' blind side if needed. Who knows? As time goes on, he might even take over the starting role from Wanya Morris. The deal is for 1 year, worth $2 million, with a maximum value of $4.5 million, including incentives. It's a significant investment, especially at this time of year. The Chiefs have been figuring out their cap situation, but if they need to restructure contracts or make adjustments, I'm confident they'll find a way to make it work. Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest mentioned that the team has been keeping an eye on Humphries for about a month, waiting for him to be medically cleared. They currently have an open spot on the 53-man roster, which was expected to be filled by Isaiah Pacheco or Charles Leno, but it's going to be DJ Humphries instead. This move adds important depth to the offensive line, especially at the tackle position, which is crucial given the lessons learned from Super Bowl 55. Let me know your thoughts on this signing in the comments below. Injury report. Before I wrap up, let's take a quick look at the injury report for the Chiefs and Panthers. For the Chiefs, only 2 players are ruled out, Isaiah Pacheco and Charles Leno. They've been limited participants in practice for the last 2 weeks, but are not on the roster yet. We should expect to see them back next week against the Raiders on Black Friday. As for the Panthers, one player to watch is Jadeveon Clowney, one of their more effective pass rushers. He's currently listed as questionable with a knee injury. Additionally, wide receiver Adam Thielen is also questionable. Head coach Dave Canales of the Carolina Panthers has confirmed that Adam Thielen will be playing, which is a significant boost for their offense. Additionally, newly activated running back Jonathan Brooks will be making his debut, adding some depth to their backfield. This is crucial for the Panthers, especially since Miles Sanders, who forms a 1-2 punch with Chuba Hubbard, will be ruled out for this game. There are several other players listed as questionable for the Panthers, including their kicker, Eddie Pinheiro. He's been one of the most accurate kickers in the NFL, second only to Justin Tucker, although he has struggled a bit recently. Nonetheless, it looks like he will be available to play. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these updates and the signing of DJ Humphries in the comments below. As we gear up for the game, let's get excited and rally behind the Chiefs. Until next time, let's go. How about those Chiefs?